Today I will show you how to make knee socks on the Passap. You can find the original instructions in the 19th issue of Passap magazine. First, make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position. Raise 90 needles on the front bed of the machine. Use the orange tool and arrange them in 1-to-1 division. Set the front lock to N and the stitch size to 1. Set the back lock to GX and insert the black strippers. Move the lock to the color changer and take the waste yarn. I'm using 2 strands of acrylic yarn. Knit 1 row and raise the rest of the needles in working position. Increase the stitch size to 4 and knit 1 row. Tap on the needles to tighten the yarn. Increase the stitch size to 5 and knit 20 rows with the waste yarn. Tap on the needles to tighten the yarn when knitting the first few rows. Clear the row counter and take the main yarn. I'm using 2 strands of acrylic yarn. Knit 14 rows. Clear the row counter and lower the front bed. Rehang the stitches on the needles to sew the casing. If you don't want to rehang the stitches, insert a lifeline to mark the row so you can sew it later. You can take several stitches at the same time, but make sure you are catching all strands of yarn. Note that the stitches must be in the hooks of the needles. Now tap on the needles to tighten the yarn and attach weights to the knitting. I will attach 4 evenly spaced weights. Now raise the front bed and knit 82 rows. Clear the row counter. Use the double-decker tool and move the end stitches on each side 1 needle in. Now knit 10 rows. Move the end stitches 1 needle in again. You must repeat these steps a total of 13 times. When the row counter is at 120 rows, you have to make the last decreases. After you make the last decreases, you must have a total of 64 needles in working position. You have to knit 42 rows. Clear the row counter and set the front lock to GX. Set the back lock to BX and the stitch size to 5. Rotate the racking handle to its upper position. Use the decker comb and transfer 16 stitches at left on the back bed. I will attach a weight to the front bed. It will keep the stitches in place. Now I will place the weight on the stitches on the back bed. Use the Decker comb and transfer 16 stitches at the right to the back bed. As you can see, the yarn from the lock is coming from the middle. I will show you how to unravel these stitches in a bit. Hold the yarn with your hand, bring it in the front of the hook and pull it slightly to unravel the stitches. The yarn must be coming from the rightmost needle. Now take both stitches in the middle and change their places. That would prevent a small hole from forming. Put all empty needles out of working position and make sure both weights are attached to the stitches on the back bed. Now raise pushers under the working needles on the back bed. Start making the heel by lowering the pushers. You must lower 11 pushers at each side. I can't show you up close, but you have to lower one pusher on the opposite side of the lock and knit one row. If you don't want to have holes, you have to wrap the yarn from the lock around the last non-working needle. When you lower the 11th pusher on right, raise one pusher on left and knit one row. Now continue raising one pusher on the side of the lock and knit one row. At some point you may have to lower the front bed and rehang the weights higher on the knitting. You have to repeat these steps until you have only one pusher in resting position on the right and the lock is on the right side of the machine. Don't forget to tell me something in the comments section, I love to hear from you. You can see the last pusher up close. Put all of them in resting position, clear the row counter and set both locks to CX. Now knit 180 rows. Clear the row counter, remove the edge springs and make the decreases for the toe. At each end on each bed you have to decrease one stitch a total of 7 times. Each time you move the stitches, put the empty needles out of working position and knit 4 rows. Don't clear the row counter. Continue decreasing the same way, but instead of knitting 4 rows, knit 2 rows every time after you move the stitches. You have to repeat these steps until only 4 stitches remain on each bed. The row counter would be at 42 rows. Take the yarn from the lock and cut it. Thread it into the double-eye bodkin tool and sew off the stitches in a circular manner. First take the stitches on the front bed from right to left, then take the stitches on the back bed from left to right. Make sure to remove the weights before sewing off the stitches. That's how the sock looks right after you take it from the machine. Now you have to sew the back side using the mattress stitch. I rehanged the stitches in the beginning, so I will remove the waste yarn and the casing will be ready. Of course, if you are smarter than me, you will know that it would be easier to remove the waste yarn if you have knitted one row with a ravel cord. I will remove it with the thread clipper. Tell me what's the name of that small scissors in English? And now you can see the casing. It's perfectly sewn. And that is the sock. I have almost sewn the back side. The seam will be visible from the inside. Use a safety pin and insert an elastic band into the casing. Make sure the elastic band is not too short because it won't be comfortable to wear the socks. After you insert the elastic band, sew both ends together. Now continue sewing using the mattress stitch to close the casing. Soon I may upload an easier version of these socks. Click on the subscribe button to be notified. Now the sock is ready. You can see what it looks like. I knitted one more, so I will put them on. Do you like them? Tell me in the comments below. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and see you in my next video.